Good morning, everybody. This is Mrs. Giesbrecht. Today we're going to do a construction using a round paper plate, a ruler, and some kind of a pen. So if you want to get those items handy, we are going to do a construction of a right triangle. So the first step that you're going to do is you're going to take your paper plate and fold it in half. And once you get the crease going, what you might want to do is just take your ruler and slide your ruler across your plate to make that crease mark extra strong and extra pronounced. When we unfold our plate, what I want us to do now is take that marker and let's draw in that middle line. This is also called the diameter of our circle. Goes straight across the middle. Okay, step number 2, now we're going to rotate our paper plate 90 degrees and we're going to fold our paper plate in just part of the way. So not the entire way, just part of the way. And you know that you're folding it correctly if your crease is lining up with your black line. So our crease is lining up with our black line. So again, to make that crease extra strong, you can use your ruler and just flatten that out. What we're going to do now is we're going to take our black marker and we are going to trace the outer edge of this circle. Basically what we're doing today is we're doing some constructions without a compass. We're using a paper plate to do a construction. When we open our plate back up and we rotate it back to normal, we're going to now draw in that last crease mark right here. Okay, let's do some labels on our paper plate. Let's make this top point, let's call that A. Let's make this point on the right, we'll call that B. And this point at the very bottom, we will call that one C. And let's also label our middle. We can call that D. So we're doing a construction using a paper plate. What I'd like you guys to do now is think about what kind of lines these are. From A to C and D to B. What kinds of lines did we create here? It starts with a P. We should be thinking the word perpendicular. That means they're going to cross at 90 degrees. So using a paper plate, we were able to create a 90-degree angle. What we're going to do next is we're going to draw in a line connecting A to B. So look what we have created. We've created a 90-degree triangle. And what we're going to do is we're going to use what we worked on today in class, which is the Pythagorean theorem. And we are going to prove what side C should be, which will be right here. So we're going to do little a little b, and side C. So using your ruler, we're going to take a quick minute. I would like you to measure side A, and then I'd like you to measure side B. We are going to use a squared plus b squared equals c squared to prove what side C should be. So everybody stop for a second and take your ruler and let's measure side A. I like to use the centimeter side of my ruler because it's a little more accurate. You can get a little bit better of an indication of what your height is. So I'm going to estimate mine at about 10.75. Again, everybody's is going to be different because we folded in at a different spot. So it's okay if yours is not exactly the same as mine. Now I'm going to measure little b, and I'm going to get that's about 6.8. And I don't know c. So we're going to square sides A and B, and it is okay and acceptable to use a calculator. So I'm going to get 115.56. Again, this is just an estimate, so we're just rounding our decimals. I got 46.24. So now I'm going to add those two answers together. 42.24. And I got 157.8 equals c squared. So I'm going to take the square root of that because we know that to go from a c squared to a c, we have to do the square root. that undoes the operation, and I get 12.56 equals C, approximately. So at this stage again, how I got from C squared to a C, the opposite of squaring is square rooting. So when I undo those, that just leaves me with the interior C. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our ruler and just check what C is. Is C 12.56? It certainly should be. And if you notice on mine, it's just a little bit more than half. Just right there, 12.56. So I did a good job with my construction. So again, the big idea for the day was using a paper plate instead of a compass to do a construction of a 90-degree angle. Our 90-degree angle we were able to turn into a 90-degree triangle, and then we could use Pythagorean theorem to find any of our missing sides when we know the other two. As an extension for something I want you guys to think about today, I'm going to draw in another shape here, and I want you to tell me what we know about this shape. So the shape that I'm going to draw in now is connecting all my exterior points. So from A to B, from B to C at the bottom. I'm going to add one more dot over here on the left-hand side. Let me add this one in. And this one in. And I'm going to give this last point over here on the left, let's call that E. So my extension question for you today is, what kind of a shape is A, B, C, E? So extension question, what kind of shape is A, B, C, E? What shape is it, and what do you know about it? So I want you to tell me two things. What shape is that, and what kind of properties does it have? What do you know about the shape that we were able to create on there? All right, so thanks for joining me in this hands-on activity.